right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do 4 punches forward, 4 punches back. It's called Maht Kra Toong. So as I'm doing this movement, the reason that we're doing this movement is that we're thinking that we're tracking somebody. Also, if somebody's progressing towards us, we should be able to kind of retreat back, but we wanna make sure that we're still effective. So the way that I wanna think about it, if I have this line right over here in the middle, I'm just using it like a railroad track. I'm over here in my stance. When I'm throwing the punch, I'm throwing it straight forward, but I'm also taking that step with that lead foot. So I'm right over here, I step. 1. From this point, I'm not in stance. In order for me to get back in stance, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little step. 2, from here, 3, 4, and I'm basically hitting it. As I go back, I'm doing the same exact motion. I basically 1, 2, 3, 4. And right over here, I'm just kind of going through the motion, and then eventually we'll start to kind of fix it. And the things that we're gonna look to kind of fix it is that footwork. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I take it from the bottom and then I'm gonna go to the top, over here, I'm throwing the punches. As I go back, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the other things that I look at is your head movement. As you guys are doing this, you guys aren't, head is all over the place going up and down. It's just gonna be, if I had like a string that's attached to the ceiling, okay, and it's basically guiding me, my head should be at one level. So if you look at my head should be at one level, and I'm just making the adjustment with my footwork. Now, as I'm doing this, then I'm gonna practice on I'm gonna focus on my breathing. I'm gonna take a deep breath in through my nose. I'm gonna hold it, and as I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna go ahead and breathe. I take a deep breath in, hush, 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 hush. As I go forward, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that the space that I'm taking, it really depends on what you're trying to do. But for this particular motion, 1, 2, 3, 4, back, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all I'm gonna have you guys do. So as I'm doing this motion, the one thing that I'm noticing is that maybe it's my bad instruction, as I'm just kind of just going through the motion, my hands aren't moving. But when you're throwing the jab, you're throwing that cross, you gotta remember that I'm gonna go ahead and point my hips straight forward as I'm doing that motion. So as I'm working, 1, 2, look at what's happening with my hips. Pay attention to my hips. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in order for me to kind of get my balance and my position right with my height, I'm gonna go ahead and I can get more up on my toes, depending on my movement. And if it's gonna be a quick motion, it could be short steps, it could be longer steps. So it just really depends. But the one thing I want you guys to do is focus on those hips, basically using it to kind of point where your punches are gonna be. Any questions? All right, two claps on 2, 1, 2.